Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John. I'm here to talk to you today a little about what's going on in and around the world. I guess the big news this morning is the Israeli strike at the head of Hezbollah and slightly into Iran connection there. And there's a lot of talk about retaliation by Iran and a few other things going on with that. We'll see how that pans out, but it's not good for anybody that's going to experience loss of life and so on. But that's the world today. Of course, everyone's heard about Megan Thee Stallion concert there to kick off Kamala Harris's Atlanta speech. It was reported widely this morning that people were bailing out after the concert. They put on the concert first, and more than half the people were there for the concert, not Kamala's speech. No matter what mainstream media is trying to tell you this morning, there was a large crowd, that's for sure, but it wasn't there for Kamala. It was there for Megan Thee Stallion, which was, I guess, quite the show of twerk ability of her and her backups there. There's a lot going on with the reincarnation of the new Kamala. Everything that she said in the past, she's had a change of mind on, and we're supposed to buy off on this according to the media pundits that are out there trying to erase her history. But it's going to be a difficult show for them to try to erase her history due to the fact that there's so many films out there and cuts of her doing just the opposite of what she's trying to run on now. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out, but they're trying to reinvent Kamala Harris into a new Kamala. But whether or not we're buying that remains to be seen. I know a lot of the people in the black community are not buying into the fact, number one, that she's black, because there's so much evidence out there that she's not, and she's using this community to run on. And if I were part of that community, I'd be upset as well. Mm-hmm. We'll see how that goes. I think that we're going to have a fun debate to watch if it does take place between her, Trump, and including RFK Jr. In the near future. They're talking about dates now and who's going to demand what be done as far as audience and as far as who's going to be the moderators of it. I'd say if it's NBC, ABC, or CBS, we got a problem there. And if it's CNN, we know which way that's going to go. Mainstream media right now is not to be trusted in any way, shape, or form. That's evident now to everything, which brings me back to talking a little bit about what transpired in the hearings yesterday, the joint committee hearings that took place over the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. And it was quite interesting to hear how badly things were handled during that Butler, PA rally that was taking place. Rand Paul was on with Maria Bartiromo this morning talking about some of the discrepancies in the testimony from some of the Secret Service people, as well as other forms of cover-ups that took place, and why in the world they let Trump take the stage, full well knowing that there was somebody of suspicion running around for the last hour, 90 minutes, they say, with inability to track this person, and why that roof was left unprotected is what they're looking for the answers of. And so far, other than saying that we dropped the ball, that leads me to believe that if they dropped the ball there, how many times in the past have they dropped the ball and just got lucky? Or will they drop the ball again? He's due to hold another rally in Pennsylvania. I believe it's Harrisburg tomorrow. And then he's talking about going back to Butler and the same venue to finish his talk to the people there. Whether or not that will be heavily attended remains to be seen. We know that he draws very, very large crowds. And whether or not he'll pull that crowd back into Butler remains to be seen. But if we have a Secret Service that's lackluster in protection, along with non-communication with the local authorities that are out there trying to aid them in protecting the speakers, that remains to be seen. But I'm sure, as Donald would say, it'll be huge. We have problems in the three-letter agencies. We have cover-ups that are going on. Let's just take a walk back to the Hunter laptop. That's how many years now has that been known and covered up? We still don't have an answer to what's going on there. We don't have an answer to what's going on with Hunter or any of the things that have been uncovered with regard to monies garnered by the Biden family all through these investigations. The bank accounts that have been found and opened up are still in a hearing phase, and we don't know what the end result of that is going to be. But now we have the waters muddied up once again to cover up anything to do with that, and now it's all about either the assassination attempt or what's tantamount to all of the news media right now is trying to reinvent Kamala Harris, who has not gained or garnered one vote from the primary constituents of 14 million that voted for Joe Biden.
I'll be damned. I'll be damned.
That is a direct blow to democracy. They keep wanting to tell you about how democracy is going to be threatened by Donald Trump, but they failed to remember to tell you that they have just subverted democracy completely by anointing Kamala Harris to the position of running for the president of the United States. She was asked by news media this morning what her thoughts were on the Israeli strike against the Hamas leader, or Hezbollah leader, and his connection to Iran, and she tried to be the president. Where is Joe Biden? Isn't he still president? Why is she taking first chair now? Is this a coronation of someone? What's going on in our government? Who is running our government right now? It certainly is not Joe Biden. And then they come out this morning and tell us that there's going to be more loan forgiveness, student loan forgiveness, that is in an astronomical amount on top of what's already been done. And I believe that that's unconstitutional, number one. And if I were an American that had to pay all of the student debt for their children and to watch this being happening, and then we get to pay again for their debt, where's the fairness in that? Some of us put kids through college. Some of us had to pay student loans from their children, and we did. You don't go out and buy a car, take a loan, and have someone else pay for it. And in our case, it's going to be us that pay for their student loans for their liberal arts degree in their indoctrination into Marxism. There's a problem there, and there's a problem there that needs to be addressed and should be addressed before we pay off one more penny in someone else's loans. You take out a loan, you're responsible for it, you pay it back. You don't ask your neighbor to pay your loan for you. And Kamala is signing off on all of this. And she's signing off on anything to do with the Supreme Court. She has not changed her spot. She's a leopard with the same spot she's always had. And media now wants to convince you that she's had a change of heart, a change of mind. Her father was a Marxist professor. You cannot convince me that she does not follow Marxism. And you cannot convince me that she hasn't been part and parcel to knowing full well that Joe Biden has had cognitive problems for the last 3 years. Say what you want, but you know darn well that she knew about it. She lied about it, just as Kareem Jean-Pierre comes out every day and still tells you the untruth of how great a president Joe Biden is, supposedly. We don't see him. He's disappeared into the woodwork. Who is running this country right now? We have a pretty darn good idea, because he said it himself in interviews when he left the presidency. He said, if you could give me somebody with an earpiece, I can run this country from my basement in my sweats. That was his words spoken on TV years ago. Not only was this his third term, but he's preparing for his fourth term, and we're allowing it. You still cannot convince me on a good day, bad day, rainy day, or sunny day that Joe Biden got 81 million votes from anybody. We know that that didn't happen. But it's been covered up, and they're all part and parcel to the big lie. Our government has been lying to us for years. And if you don't believe me, take a walk back through history and stop at the Bush administration and the weapons of mass destruction that cost tons of our servicemen's lives. For what? To embolden Iran? To embolden the despots in the Middle East that cry out daily, death to America, death to Israel? And then we have these nutcases in this country carrying around Palestinian flags because they don't understand that it's not the Palestinian people, it's the terror groups of Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran that are causing the problems and keeping this fueled war against Israel and the United States. But we're too dense here to understand where it's all coming from. Inside the deep state, they know this. They want it to continue. And don't even get me started on why we're involved up to our neck in the Ukraine business. We have problems that need to be addressed, and the only thing that we can, or place that we can address this right now, is in the upcoming elections in November, and we may have to make the right hard decision come voting time. And we need to start to pray now for the guidance to be able to do this to God Almighty. This country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, and we need to get back to that. But they want to distract you with the Olympics and the deviant showing there and the satanic vibes that come out of that. And that's the distraction, to look over here and don't look there. This is how our government operates right now. We need to get hold of that. We need to pray for the difference, and we need to act. We need to come together as Americans and make sure that the voting cheating and the illegal aliens that have been allowed to pour into this country in the millions, they're people, but there are also some bad people that came through and are planning bad things. We need to wake up and realize that. We need to get together as a population and fight for our republic to survive. How do we do that? Start at your local school board level. Run for an office. Our military has had problems since this woke agenda was forced upon them, and we need to fix that. Otherwise, the world, the Xi Jinpings of the world, the Putins of the world, the Kim Jong-il of the world know our weakness is at its pinnacle right now. That, in my mind, is an extreme danger. One that we need to be aware where we are in our surroundings at every minute of the day, and who you can trust and who you can't trust. And right now, there's an awful lot of people in the United States of America that have a hard time trusting our justice system and our three-letter agencies, based solely upon what took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Well, enough of that. Not a whole lot going on. I was told yesterday that Simone Biles won gold again. She's the largest recipient of gold medals, I guess, now in the United States. Congratulations to her. I'm not watching the Olympics based on what they have done there and their agenda. But I wish all our athletes that are competing the best. God bless you all. Have a great rest of the Wednesday. And we'll be back here at the Kaiser Report tomorrow morning, Thursday, to update you on what is taking place here and some places around the world. So God bless you all. Bye-bye now.